Hello everyone! Today we're revealing WWF Raw is War from March 30, 1998, the night after WrestleMania 14. The Austin era has officially begun, Shawn Michaels is gone, the X is in chaos. The Rock is about to make a power move, and Vince McMahon is about to make the biggest mistake of his life. This isn't just another Raw, this is the night the WWF changes forever. Time to get Raw. Jim Ross and Michael Cole welcome us, and we're about to see the new WWF champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin. But first, out comes Vince McMahon, and he's absolutely drowned in booze. He introduces a brand new WWF Championship belt and says he wants to congratulate Austin. Austin walks out carrying the Winged Eagle belt he won at WrestleMania. He grabs the new belt from Vince and drops the old one right on Vince's foot. Vince says he's proud. He says together they could create the greatest champion ever, but Austin cuts him off immediately, telling him there is no us. Vince McMahon even claims he loves Austin, and Rattlesnake jokingly says he also loves him and promises to make Vince's wife a living hell. Vince gives him a chance. The easy way, adapt, or the hard way, be forced to adapt. Stone Cold asks for 10 seconds to think about it, and after them, Stone Cold Stunner. And not just a stunner. While it's not the first, it's the one that started the war between Austin and Mr. McMahon. The stunner that changed the entire business. Steve Austin grabs the mic and yells the iconic, "If you want Stone Cold to keep doing things the hard way, give me a hell yeah." The crowd erupts to finish off the first segment. First match, LOD 2000 with Sonya at ringside vs Los Burricos. This one is over almost before it begins. The reinvented Legion of Doom 2000 explode out of the gate with pure power offense. Hawk and Animal overload them with heavy strikes and a crushing power slam. Moments later, the Doomsday device connects and Estrada is pinned in just about 35 seconds. Absolute destruction. Sunny proudly rebrands them as LOD 2000, calling them a mix of steel and sex appeal, fully embracing the updated presentation of the legendary team. Meanwhile, in the background, Kevin Kelly reports that Vince McMahon has contacted the Albany Police Department, requesting that Stone Cold Steve Austin be arrested on battery charges. Kevin Kelly follows up, revealing that Austin has no intention of leaving and claims Vince McMahon doesn't have the balls to actually have him taken away in handcuffs. Next, Kurgan with Jackie at ringside vs Chains. After a few walk-ups, Chains throws a few cold swines that barely move Kurgan. The 7-foot giant quickly returns his dominance, and after just over 2 minutes, Kurgan walks the Paralyzer Claw Hole, driving Chains down to the mat for the pinfall. Post-match, Kurgan refuses to release the hold and drags Chains up the ramp, leaving everyone to wonder what's about to happen. Jacko bizarrely points the blame at the commentators for Chains' downfall, adding to the strange aura. After the commercial break, Mr. McMahon leads a group of policemen through the arena corridors, confidently directing them towards Stone Cold Steve Austin's locker room, determined to have the new WWF champion arrested. The tension in the building is rising fast. We continue with Jeff Jarrett with Tennessee Lee at ringside vs Aguila. Jeff Jarrett jumps Aguila before the bell, immediately taking control. Not long after, Aguila shows flashes of speed and wants a sharp spin kick that briefly shifts momentum. He heads to the top rope and jumps over Double J, but Jarrett rolls out and Aguila hits the mat. Jarrett pops back up quickly and walks in the figure 4 leg walk. Aguila has nowhere to go and taps out in under 3 minutes. Another decisive victory. After the bell, Steve Blackman storms down to the ring and unloads on Jarrett, putting him in the head and sending him to the floor with a cold swine. Steve Blackman gets distracted by Tennessee Lee, which allows Jarrett to recover and cheap shot Blackman before retreating. Blackman is left furious as Jarrett escapes with the final word. Backstage, the Albany police have found their man. Stone Cold is marched out of his dressing room in handcuffs. Vince yells that Austin deserves what's happening, claiming the champion needs a 24-hour cooling off period. Austin, still defiant, warns Vince that this isn't over as officials escort him out of the building. After the break, Vince McMahon heads to the ring with Gerald Briscoe and Commissioner Slaughter. The crowd showers him off with boos as he demands respect. Vince claims he owed the WWF audience an explanation, saying Austin was given a choice and he made his own. In Vince's mind, a forced 24-hour cooling off period was necessary. Austin made his choice, I made mine. With that, McMahon drops the microphone and confidently walks out, believing he's regained control. But the Austin era is just getting started. Backstage, Triple H and Chyna are shown in the locker room. Helmsley declares that the WWF as we know it comes to an X-rated end tonight, signaling a new direction for D-Generation X. Meanwhile, The Rock speaks to the cameras. He admits he can hardly walk and has been spitting up blood, but intends to lay the smackdown on Ken Shamrock later tonight. Then, he turns to Farouk and thanks the nation's leader for opening his eyes. Rocky vows that after tonight, the nation will be stronger than ever. Let's see what The Rock is cooking. Next match, The Rock and Farouk versus Ken Shamrock and Steve Blackman. The match begins with The Rock arguing with Farouk over who should start the match. Finally, Farouk opens against Shamrock. During the match, Shamrock and Steve Blackman continuously beat down Farouk, who eventually tries to tag The Rock, but The Rock refuses, walking out of the leader of the nation. This leaves Farouk vulnerable as Shamrock hits him with a belly-to-belly suplex for the win. After the match, Farouk calls out The Rock, leading to a confrontation. The nation tries to separate them, but Farouk attacks Rocky. Refs and agents break it up, but the other members of the nation turn on Farouk. The Rock returns to the ring, delivers a rock bottom, and declares himself as the ruler of the nation, asserting dominance and leaving Farouk humiliated. After that, Triple H and Chyna come to the ring to address the changes in the Generation X. Helmsley tells Shawn Michaels that he dropped the ball, but now HHH has picked it up and will handle everything, declaring this is the start of the DX Army. He calls out his friends, the Clique, and out comes X-Pac, who gets a strong pop from the crowd. Waltman takes shots at Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff and pledges allegiance to Triple H, saying Howard Nash would be present if not held hostage by WCW. He finishes by declaring he is here to repass, and Triple H finishes the segment with the two words mantra, suck it. The X-Army is starting to pick up. A vignette airs for new wrestler called Val Venis, laying down on a couch and revealing his own adult film. The segment plays up his over-the-top sex appeal with a comedic, slightly creepy tone, highlighting him as the ultimate ladies' man ready to penetrate the WWF. Match number 5, Taka Michinoku vs Mark Meru, with Sable at ringside. Before the match, we see Luna, who challenges Sable to an evening gold match at Unforgiven in Your House. Despite Meru's protests, Sable accepts, continuing the feud. The match is quick and decisive. Taka starts strong with spin kicks, but Meru powers through with a series of strikes and power moves, eventually finishing Taka with a TKO in just over 1.5 minutes. Post-match, Sable checks on Taka, while Meru orders her away, continuing their tension. The segment ends with 3 Japanese men attacking Taka from the audience, leaving fans wondering if the Yakuza is involved. We continue with the Headbangers defending the NWA World Tag Team titles versus the New Midnight Express with Jim Cornette at ringside. The NWA World Champion Dan Severn is at ringside with Jim Cornette as the match begins. The New Midnight Express works over Thrasher, hitting him with Hyde Park moves. The chaos erupts when Mosh is tagged in. Mosh quickly gets the advantage, but the referee gets distracted, which leads to Bombastic Bob attacking Mosh and the Midnight hitting the rocket launcher to finish the match. The New Midnight Express are the new NWA World Tag Team Champions. Post-match, Dan Severn gets in the ring and suplexes the Headbangers while Cornette celebrates. Meanwhile, Stone Cold Steve Austin uses his one phone call not for a wire but to call Jim Ross. He threats Vince McMahon, promising that next Monday night won't be fun for him and delivering his iconic Austin 360 just whipped your ass warning. Paul Bearer comes out with Kane next as the arena prepares for a cage setup. He delivers a long-winded promo about a dream he had the previous night. In the dream, the wrestling ring was completely surrounded by fire, and in it, Kane stood alone. Bearer challenges The Undertaker to step into the flames and face his brother one more time. To win the match, the competitor must actually set the other on fire, officially announcing the Inferno match for Unforgiven in Your House. And now, the main event. Cactus Jack and Jay Soul Charlie defending the WWF titles versus New Age Outlaws. The match starts with all four men getting into each other. Funk's shirt gets torn off, while Cactus Jack chokes out Billy Gunn. Gunn is hung upside down on the cage, giving Jack room to go after Road Dogg. Later in the match, the Outlaws handcuff Jack to the cage by his neck, making it impossible for him to continue. Despite this, Jack still manages to fight the heel duo. At one point, Funk is even able to blast Road Dogg. Cactus Jack attempts to climb out, but Triple H and X-Pac run down to ringside. X-Pac smashes Jack over the head with a chair multiple times, and then tosses it into the ring. The Outlaws hit a spike power driver onto the chair, and Road Dogg does the worm for the pin, regaining the WWF Tag Team titles. After the match, DX and the Outlaws continue their assault on Cactus Jack and Funk, and with that, the New Age Outlaws officially join DX, ending the show on a storyline-driven note. This Raw sets the stage for the post-WrestleMania season and fully launches the Austin era. The night is chaos, storyline shifts, and new power dynamics are established across the roster. Key takeaways: Stone Cold Steve Austin cements his position against Vince McMahon. LOD 2000 continued their resurrection. The Nation of Domination finally exploding, with Rock kicking Farouk and becoming the leader. D-Generation X recruiting X-Pac and the New Age Outlaws. And Paul Bearer announcing the Inferno match of Kane vs. The Undertaker. This Raw is one of my favorites and gives us so many memorable moments. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more classic WWF reviews. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you at ringside.